Today is a great day to talk about why your assisted living facility or childcare facility is always short on cash. Hello guys, for those of you who do not know me, my name is Donna and I am a CFO for childcare providers as well as assisted living providers. So let's talk about why your facility is always short on cash. So guys, I don't have any script. Everything that I tell you is based off of experience, working with hundreds of childcare providers, working with hundreds of assisted living providers. So I pretty much know what's going on with regards to why you're short on cash. So if you have a pen and paper, you want to write these things down. So the first thing is going to be Medicaid cycles or state payment cycles or government payment cycles. You as the business owner, you need to understand and pay attention to deposit cycles, okay? I want you guys to know when you pay attention to your deposit cycles, you're able to do so many things that will make sure that you're never short on cash. So let's just say that you're a business owner and you know that you get a government deposit once a month on the 15th of, let's just say, $150,000. Well, because you know that you get that deposit on that day, now you need to pay attention to, okay, I get this deposit, what all actually needs to be done with this deposit? This is going to include when does payroll fall, depending on if your facility has bi-weekly payrolls, semi-monthly payrolls, maybe a monthly payroll, okay? You need to decide, okay, what do I need to take out for payroll expenses so I can get that off of my plate? And the reason why I say that, because as a provider, as a business owner, you're supposed to have a payroll bank account. You're not supposed to be letting payroll come out of your operating account because that's for operations only. That's something that they don't tell you, but good thing for you, you're watching this video today and you know now that, oh wow, I need to go set up a payroll account, which makes sense because out of your payroll account, that's the only thing that's going on throughout that account, which is payroll, right? So let's just say you're that good provider and you have a payroll account. So when you get that deposit on the 15th, you make sure that you transfer over your payroll expenses into your payroll account. Got it? Good. Okay, next thing that's going to come from that huge lump sum deposit on the 15th is going to be your operating expenses. How much does it cost to operate your business? You're going to think about things such as utilities, any things that, you know, just are monthly recurring operating costs. Utilities, you have other overhead, you have insurances, your business liability insurances, you may have auto expenses every single month. I like to pinpoint things out that happen recurrently every month, which is why I like the example of using utilities, because you know you're going to get a bill for your utilities every month, your internet, your business liability insurance, things like that. Then once your operating expenses are taken care of, notice that as you're segregating these things, you're paying attention to your cash flow. And if you think of it like that, you're like, okay, there's no reason you should ever be short on cash, because once you've taken out payroll, once you've taken out those recurring operating expenses, whatever you have left in that bank account, guess what you're supposed to be doing? Okay, now I have to, repairs and maintenance may come up. I don't necessarily think that this is it's an operating expense, but it's not a recurring operating expense, which means that you may not have repairs and maintenance every single month. Most companies don't. Typically when you have repairs and maintenance, it comes like once every quarter, or something happens, an emergency happens, like let's just say your hot water heater goes out, you need to get that repaired and maintained, things like that. So you want to make sure you have enough money in the operating account to take care of that. Again, you're still watching all of your cash, so you're not short on cash. Lastly, you want to make sure that any taxes that the company owes or that company has upcoming, that you're setting it aside. So where do you set aside tax money? Right, guys, you set it aside in a savings account. So really and truly, as a business provider, as a business owner, you're supposed to have 3 accounts. You're supposed to have an operating bank account, you're supposed to have a payroll bank account, and you are supposed to have a savings bank account, right? So all of this is starting to make sense. And when you're segregating everything like this in different accounts, you're watching your cash flow. So there's no reason why you should be lacking and being short on cash flow every month, because you know what's going into what bucket. pretty much. In the savings account, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have taxes due, but you want to prepare for taxes that may possibly come up due by setting aside a certain percentage of that monthly deposit that you get in this example for taxes. You also may want to set aside a certain percentage of that deposit that you get for emergency purposes, or set aside a certain percentage of that deposit you get not for just emergency purposes, not for just tax purposes, but for the overall purpose of saving in the case that you as a business owner, you may want to expand, you may want to do a merger acquisition, things like that. You have that type of money in that savings account. So that savings account can be used for primarily three things: for taxes, for emergencies, and for actually saving and building up that reserve for future operations, future acquisitions, things like that, okay? So when you're doing all this, you're constantly watching your cash. So therefore, you should never be lacking in cash when it comes to that, right? So next, another way that you can stop the cash flow bleed in your business is to vendor agreements. I know sometimes, in your area particularly, let's just use food for example. Everybody has to buy food for their clients or your enrollment. It's good to negotiate terms and agreements with these vendors. You don't just necessarily have to take whatever terms and agreements that they provide to you, which is why I say it's always good whenever you're looking for vendor providers in the food sector, you always want to get 3 different vendors rather, so that you can choose what's a better quote for you, what fits your business model better, and what assists your company in savings on a monthly basis. Because the food for you guys' particular industry, that is a monthly recurring expense, because you guys have to buy food for your enrollment and for your clients. And typically what I see is that you guys, you don't negotiate. You just take whatever they give you. If they email you a quote, you're like, that's good, because I have to have a food service provider. Understood. But you still want to do your due diligence and getting 3 quotes. That's what I recommend, 3 quotes, to see the different factors in those quotes. And typically when you get a handle on that, that's where you stop bleeding cash. So many areas, knowing how to properly dish out your monthly deposit that you get from Medicaid, government subsidy, the state, all that good stuff, and having vendor terms with your vendors that benefit you as well as benefiting the vendor. Those are a couple of ways that you can stop the cash bleed instantly without doing anything else. So if you see yourself as a business owner of a childcare or an assisted living facility and you're experiencing these things, I guarantee you that if you go back, listen to this YouTube recording, and just put at least a couple of the things that I said into action, you'll see how you're stopping the bleed if your cash flow. Because whenever you're making over 7 figures, 8 figures, really and truly, you should not have a cash flow problem, right? It's just you're not monitoring, you're not paying attention to the cash that's actually coming in and knowing where each spectacle of the cash is going. It's all about watching. It's kind of like, for example, if you're a cooker and you love to cook, if you've ever heard most cooks talk, they'll tell you cooking is not hard. It's all about watching your food, right? So this is the same thing when it comes to if you're bleeding in cash every month and you just seem like, you just never have enough. If you watch where the cash is going, making sure that it's going into the right place, negotiate terms, favorable terms with vendors, you will see that you get to plug up that cash bleed. I hope this was informative. If you are that provider and you do need assistance with, making sure that, hey, I just need some hand holding with regards to, I feel like my cash is flying in, but flying out just as fast as it's flying in, there is a link below this recording. Go ahead and book a free 15-minute strategy session, along with there's a link for a free ebook. So I look forward to speaking with you guys soon. Have a great day.